A fresh row has broken out in Tamil Nadu, once again stoking the entire temples under the Tamil Nadu government control controversy. This is the Chidambaram Nataraja temple in Cuddalore, which is not under government control. And there was a controversy that broke out as devotees were reportedly not being allowed to one particular part of the temple, a golden platform in the temple. What led to, in fact, what prompted that was cops and HR&CE officials going aboard that particular area, leading to a showdown. Let's get you all the details.
This is how cops and officials from the Tamil Nadu government stormed into the sacred Chidambaram Natarajan temple in Cuddalore. What you see on your screens is the moment officials entered the kanagasabai, or the holy platform of the temple, which was closed off for devotees by the priests of the temple for 4 days. Officials entered the platform, offered prayers and then ensured other devotees could enter amid protest by angry Dikshitars, the priests who managed the temple. The priests of the Chidambaram temple accused the officials of manhandling young boys and entering the platform. And when asked why they had blocked devotees, they cited security reasons, saying with the expensive jewellery kept in the area, they did not want to take a chance. Devotees now are entering the temple's holy golden platform as Dikshitars then allowed entry.
The Dikshitars claim that they are already armed with the court order that says that the governing authority of this particular temple comes under them. But the HR&CE went ahead and said that such decisions cannot be taken only by the Dikshitars, and they have to discuss about it with the HR&CE board, and that turned out to be a huge issue.
The DMK has defended their action, assuring that the temple will very soon be brought under government control. A step they have been trying hard to accomplish but have faced legal hurdles.
சட்டப்படி பக்தர்கள் சுதந்திரமாக இறை வழிபாட்டிற்கு அனைத்து உதவிகளையும் இந்து சமய அறநிலையத்துறையும் அரசும் செய்யும். இதில் யார் பெரியவர்கள் என்பது பிரச்சனை அல்ல. இறை என்பவர்களுக்கு தேவையான தெய்வத்தை வழிபடுவதற்குண்டான அனைத்து ஏற்பாடுகளையும் செய்து தருவதுதான் எங்களுடைய நோக்கம்.
The fight quickly turned political as the BJP lashed out at the Stalin government, accusing the government of hurting Hindu sentiments.
There are issues. Even the court already had ordered that the temple should be taken, can be taken by the HR&CE. But let Modi consider this and bring in a uniform civil code within Hinduism.
There is a very, very clear Supreme Court order that this temple should be under the Dikshitars' control. And whatever the government of Tamil Nadu doing is unconstitutional. That is what we have been saying.
The DMK versus Dikshitars fight for control of the historic Chidambaram temple is turning uglier by the day. While the DMK has accused priests of mismanagement and being casteist, the Dikshitars have repeatedly fought off what they call attempts of a temple takeover by the government. With Pramod Madhav in Cuddalore, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let me take this across to Pramod Madhav. He's joining us live from outside the Nataraja temple in Cuddalore, the very iconic temple in Tamil Nadu. Pramod, good evening. What's the situation currently? Have things calmed down? Because there were protests that broke out subsequently after this video came to light.
Good evening, Akshita. In fact, we are inside the temple currently, and let me show you the ambience at this temple right now. This is called the temple of Thillai Nataraja, and this temple is nearly 1,000 years old. This carries a history of the Choras, the Pandyas and various kings. There are like different sabais here. One sabai called kanagasabai is the one that is causing the issue. There is sabai. There are lingams that is made up of spardigam and ruby, and so many things are there. In fact, in Tamil it is called as Chidambaram Ragasyam, which means the secret that Chidambaram holds. Everything is inside this temple, and here we are showing you this complex currently with these thousands of pillars at this spot. And yes, there is a big issue, but the Dikshitars very clearly mentioned that they have the Supreme Court order in their hand, and for the day, devotees are allowed to climb atop the kanagasabai, which is one of the five sabais called as the golden platform. It's nothing but a kind of like a platform like this, where people will climb atop and they will pray to Lord Nataraja, who will be on that side. And this is where the issue came up. Here, what happened is that the Dikshitars on one end said that they decided to go ahead and do so because after 1,000 years of taking care of the temple, they knew what exactly would happen, and they cannot control the crowd. They said that a minimum of 50,000 people would visit on those particular 4 days, and that's the reason devotees were not allowed. But HR&CE officials have taken offense of it, and they claim that such decisions cannot be taken by them alone, and they have to discuss it with the HR&CE, and that's the reason the minister gave such a kind of interview. But he went a little far ahead and also said that HR&CE is going out doing all things to take control of the temple. But how will they do that is the question, because both the Dikshitars fall under a community called as denomination community, because they are only 1,300 in number, and it has been recognized by the Supreme Court as per the Dikshitars, and they have said that no matter what HR&CE will do, they will keep fighting their legal battle, Akshita.
And legally, the problem is, that the Supreme Court order is in favor of the Dikshitars, which is why there's a big showdown right now over this temple. Thanks, Pramod, for getting us that detailed ground report. Pramod reporting there from the spot where all of the controversy has broken out. Let me introduce our guests joining us on this broadcast. We've got Mr. A. Saravanan, DMK spokesperson. Mr. Narayanan Tirupati of the BJP will be joining us in just a bit. Mr. Saravanan, Vanakkam.
Yes,
the Dikshitars have claimed that the officials who are there, the HR&CE officials, the cops, manhandled some of them. They're saying that the DMK government is attempting to take over the temple. Your response first to that?
See, the DMK government cannot remain a mute spectator when the Dikshitars take the law into their own hands. Yes, the Supreme Court has passed an order stating that the control of the temple may remain with the Dikshitars. They are free to follow their own religious practices. There is no doubt about that. But when the government is asking about the transparency in the way they manage the funds, the Dikshitars ought to give it to them, ought to give it to the government.
They cite the Supreme Court order. Saravanan, they cite the Supreme Court order repeatedly to say that we are not answerable to the government like several other temples that fall under the HR&CE department.
See, Supreme Court did not give them the right to marry off children. The Supreme Court did not give them the right to discriminate between different castes in the Hindu religion.
No, so
this is why we are saying, Mr. Modi, please stop talking about uniform civil code. Please talk about uniformity within the Hindu religion. DMK is a party which is fighting for the oppressed Hindus. And what these Pudu Dikshitars are doing, they say this is off the limits for some people. People belonging to certain castes. See, this is a phenomenon. Actually, just a moment. Just a moment. Let me complete this. This is a phenomenon seen across the country. We are seeing Madam Draupadi Murmu, the first citizen of this country, standing outside the temple, and we are seeing Dharmendra Pradhan and Ashwini Vaishnav getting into the touching the idols and giving their worships. This is how people are discriminated in this country in the name of religion. This is what we are opposing, and we will not allow anybody to flout the law. Article 26, yes, gives them a right. That does not mean that they can violate Article 14, Article 15 and Article 16. So let's talk
about what's happened. Let's talk about what's happened in the temple itself, Saravanan. The Dikshitars have said very clearly that it was closed for 4 days, and this is because of the fact that in the kanagasabai itself, there are a lot of jewels kept there. They feared that the crowds would come in large numbers, then security would be an issue. It's not a year-long thing. It's not permanent. There isn't a section of people that weren't allowed, or a section of people that were allowed in the kanagasabai for you to say that, there were this casteism, that, Hindus are being oppressed.
Yes, see, when you speak about security, when there is a huge congregation, it is not the responsibility of the Podu Dikshitas. It is the responsibility of the state government. They ought to have listened, they ought to have got the advice of the state government and how to go about it. They do not hang in.
But is this the way to do it?
Place.
Is this the way to do it? You know how sacred a temple is. Is this the way to do it? To have cops and everyone entering?
Yeah, that is how, when you want to maintain law and order, when you want to maintain the safety, safety and the life of the priests, the life of the devotees are very important. They are more sacrosanct than anything else. Life of a Hindu, life of a citizen of this country is more sacrosanct than anybody else.
Okay, you're saying what action was taken was warranted. Narayanan Tirupati of the BJP is joining me on this broadcast. Mr. Narayanan Tirupati, Saravanan is saying this action was warranted. To speak up and stand for Hindus, we had to take this step.
No, this is an unwarranted, unwanted, unnecessary, unconstitutional approach of the Tamil Nadu government and the police. The HR&CE department, the government doesn't have any right to enter inside the temple, that too with a huge police force. Hundreds of policemen unnecessarily barging into the temple, creating a huge confusion, conflict, and they were trying to intimidate the Dikshidhas who have the right to do puja and who have the right to manage the temple. The Supreme Court's judgment is very, very clear about this temple, and in spite of that, in order to take control of the temple, the minister as well as the other officials of the Tamil Nadu government has very clearly violated, the rights of the temple and also of
the defense, the DMK is saying, Mr. Narayanan Tirupati, that first there are only some Hindus that are allowed up, others aren't, that these kind of practices by these Podu Dikshitas cannot be allowed, that the government has a certain responsibility to Hindus, to the people who want to go there and pray.
See, absolutely not. They are at fault. Mr. Saravanan is definitely not telling the facts. The fact of the matter is that the festival, it is there for at least 1 week's time. What do you call this? This place is just a 10x2 small room. So in this place, definitely hundreds or thousands of men cannot go inside, and if they are allowed, they have to stand a very big queue. The entire Chidambaram town would have been in a very big traffic jam. So that is the reason. Then normally in all the temples you have the main deity will stay there and only the other deity will be carried up. But in this issue, the main deity will be going throughout the town of Chidambaram, and the entire main deity has got several lakhs worth of jewels wearing in it. So for security reasons, they don't allow anyone.
So it wasn't discrimination. You're saying it wasn't discrimination. Saravanan, I want your response to the question that the BJP is posing. They're alleging that, there's an attempt by the government to take over this temple. Mr. Shekhar Babu today also said that we'll do everything we need to ensure we take over this temple. Is that fair, considering that the Supreme Court has very clearly said it belongs to these and will be run by these Dikshitas?
Yeah, see, the Supreme Court may have stated that this temple belongs, it does not say it belongs, they'll be maintained by this Podu Dikshita. It was built by Chola kings. And these Dikshitas came there, and the Chola kings have said, okay, please take care of the temple. They are there to maintain the temple, pure and simple.
But that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And don't you think, Saravanan, for all the Hindus who are right now objecting, saying that it's not okay, we feel offended, our sentiments are hurt when cops have entered, these sacred parts of the temple in this manner. What's your message to them? They say, why couldn't there have been dialogue? Why couldn't this have been resolved with talk, with conversation, rather than doing it in this manner?
See, the Dikshitas are not reasonable. There were cases earlier, not at this instance. Earlier, there were cases filed against the Dikshitas under the SC/ST Act because they discriminated. So it is not the first time this has happened. And when it comes to law and order, it is the duty of the state government. The simple question is this: when they anticipate so many people, so much of people there, why they have not intimated, why they have not sought the assistance of the local police authorities? So who has started this controversy? It is not the DMK. See, that's what I'm saying. The life of any Hindu The safety of any Hindu who is visiting the temple is as sacrosanct, is as valuable as anything else.
Okay, all right. So you're saying that you will continue very clearly to take these steps to ensure that every Hindu has a right to pray. That's the message from the DMK right now. But thanks very much, Saravanan and Narayan and Tirupati, for joining us on this broadcast. This is clearly a controversy that will continue to snowball. It's not ending anytime now because the government has made it amply clear in Tamil Nadu that they want to take control of this particular temple as well. So it means that the Dikshitars will continue their fight against the government.